We're gonna be okay. Hey, I'm not giving up today. There's nothing getting in my way. And if you knock me over, I will get back up again. Oh, sing it together. Now and forever, ever. Forget everything, just sing.
I feel like you're gonna start these podcasts now, and I'm just gonna be like, whatever you're doing.
I kind of want to do that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Unless you want to do it.
No, I'm too lazy.
Anyway, welcome to another podcast.
Welcome.
This time, we're going to be doing a double feature podcast.
No.
So we're going to be doing two movies that happen to go together. So today we're going to be talking about Trolls and Trolls World Tour. Because they're both under the Trolls stuff, and we saw both movies around the same time, so we thought we might as well just talk about both of them in a podcast. And why are your feet cold? Anyway, so is there anything you want to say before we start?
What's your experience with Trolls?
What, my experience? Or are you talking to the audience?
I'm talking to you. You're the only one in the room.
You were the one that introduced me to the Trolls movies.
No, I mean...
Yes, you did.
No, before the Trolls movies. What was your experience with Trolls?
I didn't really have any experience with it. I just knew they were toys. That's it.
You didn't have troll dolls?
No, I was not that big on troll dolls growing up. And also, don't mind me, I'm drinking some, juice.
Yeah.
So, to me, I didn't have Trolls dolls. I never had Trolls dolls. I knew a lot of people that did, though.
I ripped the hair out of mine.
Are you kidding me right now?
No.
Why?
I was Sid from Toy Story with a lot of my toys.
Why are you like this? Anyway. Okay, so since Trolls came out first, let's talk about Trolls first.
Okay.
So,
Do you remember
yes.
when this was first marketed
No.
and everyone thought it was gonna be shit? I remember that because they were dancing to the Nay Nay in the teaser trailer for the first movie.
Wait, they were doing dancing to the Nay Nay?
They were, yeah,
I didn't know this.
they were.
So I guess the first thing I found out about Trolls was that I actually found out about the Trolls movie through a music video that Justin Timberlake did. That's how I found out about the Trolls.
Everybody found that out. That
and I actually like that song.
But that song came out 9 months before the movie hit.
Yeah, but I liked it though. I liked that music video. Anyway, we're not talking about the music video. We're talking about Trolls. Yeah. So, I kind of want you to talk about it first this time. Or do you want me to talk about it first?
I mean, Trolls. Okay, so this plot is simple. This is the closest thing to a Care Bears movie that I'm ever gonna get. So pretty much what the story is about is that there's two types of species in this world apparently. They're the trolls, which are these colorful little poppy type things, and they're like to sing and dance and be happy. And then they're the Bergens that are sad and depressed and just want to eat trolls because apparently they make
goblins.
They're goblin-like, and they want to eat trolls because they believe it'll make them happy, which I think is secretly a social statement on how don't eat so that it can make you happy, because then you'll get obese and die.
Oh my god, honey.
You can see that. You can definitely see that. I can make an argument about that. But anyway, so they escape. The trolls escape from the grass and they go start a new life. And then all of a sudden, Poppy fucks up. Poppy, the princess of the troll kingdom, fucks up. And she has to go save her friends with the help of Branch, who was like, I knew you would fuck up.
Yeah, basically.
That's the plot of the fucking movie.
So they all started out in a tree. They left the tree. They came to a new tree and started living their lives.
So Avatar.
No! No! This is nothing like Avatar.
What if Avatar had like the cat people with crazy hair and they sang nothing but late R&B 2000 songs?
Why are you like this?
I want to see that movie now. James Cameron, make that Avatar 2 sequel that I always wanted.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, okay, we're talking about the Trolls movie, not fucking Avatar. Okay. Anyway, so. We have Poppy, who's like this little pink troll who's really like enthusiastic.
Who I knew when I showed this movie to you, you would be like, Poppy is me.
You literally thought me and Poppy were so similar.
You are though.
I can actually admit to that. I actually am similar to Poppy. Anyway, so Poppy's has friends that got kidnapped. There was this big blue troll. There was, like, this pink-looking llama dude. And then there was, like, these two twin trolls that have the same hair.
And I like
They're
that,
stuck together.
And I like that we can't remember these trolls' names.
I know it's Satin and Chanel. I know those two.
Or their personalities or anything like that because they're all voiced by pop singers and celebrities that no one really gives a shit about. And also the fact that they, like, you know, they're side characters. The blandest that you can make side characters. The only people that you will remember from this movie at all are Poppy and Branches because they're the main characters and they have more than one fucking personality.
And they also have, there's this other guy named Creek. That's all I'm going to say about him. He's just a guy named Creek. That's it. And there was Guy Diamond. Guy Diamond. Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
And there was like a DJ one, I think. I think there was a DJ one.
Well, yeah, but like the thing about it is, it's a movie meant for
kids,
5-year-olds.
It's a movie meant for 5-year-olds.
It's a movie made for 5 to 10-year-olds, like, and it shows. But I guess we could talk about like the things we like and the things about the first one, and then
we'll talk about the second movie.
Yeah, the things we like, things we don't like, and then we get the ready for the first one. So, what are the things you liked about this movie, Maury?
The first movie, I will admit, it had the most basic plot ever.
Yeah.
I liked the music in it, though. I thought it was good.
Even though it was Andra Kendrick doing Pitch Perfect.
All over again.
Yeah.
But she actually made it sound better in this compared to Pitch Perfect, in my opinion. Like, it sounded better to me. I liked the colors in it. I liked how nice it looked. I liked how they did the style of, like, the little trolls on paper and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
The Bergens, on the other hand, they looked so ugly.
That's the point.
Okay, like,
that's the
only two that looked good looking was the prince.
Sorry if there was a noticeable jump cut right there. When I drink coffee, I have to go shit out sparkles. Anyway, continue.
Oh my fucking gosh. Okay, as I was saying, because we had to do a jump cut, but this is the first time we've done a jump cut so far.
Yeah.
Okay, so we hope to not do any more of those. Hopefully.
I can't help it if I need to go shit out sparkles and rainbows.
It's fine. Anyway, it's okay. Pat. Anyway, so after... Okay, so basically, the prince and... I keep forgetting that one girl's name. Who's the one troll girl that she liked?
The maid.
Okay, those two are the only decent characters that were the Bergens. I don't know how to fucking say it, okay? I'm sorry. But they were the only good-looking Bergen characters in the entire show. Not show, I mean movie. Okay, so basically basically the dad died and the prince is now running the kingdom. He wants the kingdom to be happy and all this other bullshit. The cook, who apparently made the whole thing happen, decided to, like, fuck everything up. And she gets fired. She goes into the wild trying to find trolls to satisfy the king, who apparently dies later, and then now it's the prince taking over everything.
And he never had a troll.
He never had a troll. He never had a troll like everyone else did. And he wanted to have a troll. So, basically, Poppy ends up deciding, hey, let's throw a fucking party. And they made it loud and proud and just lights and flashes. And then the chef finds them and kidnaps her friends. And she ends up taking them away back to Bergentown or whatever the fuck it was called.
Yeah.
Was it actually called Bergentown?
I think so. I don't.
Oh my fucking gosh. If it is, I swear. Oh gosh. Okay, so Poppy ends up trying to go find the trolls that got kidnapped. Branch ends up going along with her just to make sure she's okay, but she ends up going by herself.
And then she sings the best song in the movie.
Yes, that's literally the best fucking song in the whole, like, first movie.
Because most of these are pop covers and karaoke bits, but the fact...
Was that an original song?
Yeah, that was an original song. There's a few songs that are, like, original songs that are not, like, you know, just, like, covers.
Can you name them so we know?
I think that's the only song in the movie.
What about They Don't Know About Us? Was that an original one?
They Don't Know About Us. What?
The one in the roller rink.
The what?
The song that they were playing in the roller rink.
I don't know, Mari. I don't know every pop song in the world. But I know that song
Was an original one.
was the original one.
Okay, so that makes me feel a little
And
better.
there's several ones in the sequel, but you know.
Anyway, so we'll talk about the sequel after this. So the Trolls movie, like, they basically, Branch and her end up going to save the people. They go into Bergentown.
The people.
The troll people that they got kidnapped. They're friends. They kidnapped their friends. So they're going to go find them and save them. So they end up going there into Bergentown. Excuse me.
With the help of the cloud guy.
With the help of the fucking cloud guy. Who I thought was funny. Branch thought was annoying.
I have to admit, this movie would look good if you took some acid.
Why are you like this?
I would. Okay, you want to talk about something? You want to talk about the animation in this movie?
The animation's actually pretty good, but I feel like they could have done a little bit more with it, in my opinion. Like, it was decent. It wasn't bad. It's just like...
Because the animation looks like a scrapbook.
It looks like a scrapbook. I like the scrapbooking style of it. It's just like, when it wasn't a scrapbook style, I feel like they could have done more with it.
Right.
But it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad movie. A little underwhelming, in my opinion, but not
because
bad.
It followed a plot made for 5-year-olds.
Yeah. So basically, they end up they find their friends. They get taken by the maid. The maid ends up, like, wanting to be noticed by the prince. And then, she disguises herself so that way the two of them can kind of interact with each other. He ends up falling in love with her. She ends up disappearing like Cinderella. It turns into fucking Cinderella at that point. And it's like, bitch. Like,
You just got it right all over the place because you were like, you're making it seem like the cook is in love with the prince.
no, I meant the maid. I said the fucking maid, not the cook.
Uh-huh.
Ew.
I'm sure. Okay.
You talk about something.
Oh, I gotta talk about something.
You can talk about it.
It's JC's turn to talk now.
It's your turn now. Talk about
JC's
something.
turn to talk now because he hasn't talked in a long time.
You haven't talked that much in this one, so I feel like I've mostly talked in it. That's me.
Okay,
So you talk about it now.
Oh my god. Okay.
Go talk about it.
Okay. Well, when I first saw this movie, I saw it in theaters.
You actually saw it in theaters?
Yes, I saw it in theaters. So I was like, when I was watching this, I gotta admit, this was a joyous time for me.
You actually really liked it?
I didn't really like the movie, but I liked it to the extent that it was good, cheesy fun. The fact that it was not afraid to be silly, or it wasn't afraid to be like, you know, just full on embrace the fact that this is a whole glittery
Pile of
pop-filled
poo.
You let me talk.
I'm sorry.
That this was just this was just fluff. That's how I get describe it. It's pure fluff. And if you're not into pure fluff, you're not gonna like this movie. But I don't know, I admired it for that because a lot of
surprisingly, a lot of kids movies nowadays do not go for pure innocent fluff. They're looking for a family demographic.
Yeah.
And this movie isn't just made for kids, I believe.
I feel like there's like adult stuff in this too.
Yeah, but for me, it's just mostly made for kids. These movies are for kids. And I think, like, that's why it was, like, refreshing to me at the time. Because I'm like, this is made for kids. It's definitely not made for me. But I feel like, it's a refresher, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's a good...
breath of fresh air.
Breath of fresh air compared to anything else that was coming out at the time. And, like, yes, the pop songs, I get it. This is, like, a jukebox musical type pop song thing. And, like, I get why some people do not like that genre. Like, do not like the genre when it comes to musicals, the jukebox pop, because you're pretty much just singing, like, songs that already exist. And, it can go really badly if you sing it.
Bad.
If you don't sing it on the notes that it wants to hit.
What was that one jukebox musical you showed me that was apparently really bad?
Strange Magic.
I did not mind Strange Magic.
Oh, God.
But you hated it.
I deny not.
You hated it, and I loved it.
I cannot stand that fucking movie.
It's better than Strange Magic.
I can't stand that fucking movie. This movie right here, like, Trolls is
way better.
Much more superior version of a jukebox musical than Strange Magic will ever be.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I admire Trolls because of the fact that, like, it was willing to be sappy and cute and all that stuff, and not, like, have to be ashamed about, like, it didn't poke that much jab at itself. Like, literally the only character that it poked jabs at was, like, Branch.
Yeah, because he was voiced by Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
And he actually did good voicing him, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, I mean, you get paid for what you put onto the microphone, but it's like, they have probably the only personalities in the movie because they have the most interaction with each other.
Yeah.
And, like, it's like Poppy is one of those characters that is, like, very optimistic but understands what sarcasm is at the same time. I don't know. I like characters that are, like,
they're cute and fuzzy, but
that
they
are
like
cute,
the sarcasm.
But they also, like, have, like, a hint of sarcasm to them. And I like that character, Poppy. I think, like, Poppy is the one that, like, I think kind of carries a little bit of this movie.
Yeah.
A little bit. Because she's just, like, such an optimistic character and all that stuff. That, and also, like, the animation and how, like, pop and fluffy it is and all that stuff. And I think that's why, like, it's probably, in terms of DreamWorks and, like, what stuff that they put out, I think this is one of their more funner movies to watch. But not as fun. Not as fun for adults as much as it is for kids. Because this is not really so much of a family movie.
This is like a kids movie.
More of a kids movie.
Yeah.
So if you guys are willing to watch a kids movie, I think this is, like, a really, really good kids movie.
Yeah. So basically after, what's it called? Basically after they get into the castle and find their friends, like...
Are we gonna explain the whole plot every single time? Like, every single time we, like, explain something, like, are we just gonna explain the whole plot?
Well, we can if you want to. It's up to you.
Well, we don't need to. We just talk about what we like and just like about the movie.
Okay, fine. We won't go too deep on the plot. So we'll leave... Some of it is spoilers, but some of it isn't. But, like...
but I will admit, when they explain why Branch doesn't sing, this little
that made me fucking sad. Like,
no,
oh my god.
Okay, you want to know a secret? When I saw that in the theater, and I was like, this is too fucking sappy. How much sappier can this sap get? And then when they explained what happened to Branch and why he doesn't sing anymore, I burst out laughing.
Why did you burst out laughing?
I burst out laughing.
I
burst out laughing in the theater, so much so that I started, like, crying because I was laughing so much. I was like,
Honey, oh my
like
gosh.
legit, like, because it's set up to be like, you know, because like it was so sap, and I was caught up in the sap that when it started going to like, and when like Little Bridge kids started singing like what's that song that I was singing?
I don't remember.
What's that song called?
I don't know.
Something.
Something. It
Like,
was cute. I
something
liked
2000 song, because it reminds me so much of a 2000 song. But
he sang that.
he sang that, and when he was like singing that as a little kid, and then like when something like like the big bad thing that happened to him and stuff like that, when he was singing that at the same time, and it made me die. It made me die inside of laughter, because it was just so, oh my god, it was like the most awkward, funniest shit I've ever seen. And it was like, oh my god, I know this is supposed to be sad, but movie, you cannot pull sadness out for shit. And I'm just dying. I'm dying laughing.
I thought it was sad. I like almost cried.
No, I couldn't take that as a serious moment, and I laughed my ass off.
Okay, but basically, okay, I will admit this. Like,
And it makes me feel so much joy that the filmmakers probably thought that, like, you know, some people are gonna get sad at this, but
some people are gonna laugh at
but
this.
most people are gonna laugh at this because it's just that fucking silly. So
Yeah. But, okay, I will say this, and this is a major spoiler. I will say this about the first Trolls movie. Creek is a bitch. Creek is a fucking pussy ass bitch.
Well, I like the fact
dude.
that Poppy was gonna choke out that bitch.
Yes. Okay.
Like she's like
Creek
that
was a suck up. Creek was a fucking suck
like
up.
that moment where she snapped and like, you know, she almost choked the shit out of him. I was like, fuck yes, bitch. Oh,
I was so pissed off at fucking Creek because he made Poppy upset. I was so pissed. Okay, Creek is a fucking bitch. Like, Creek was such a bitch, it's not even funny. Like, he was a bitch. I hated him. I knew why I hated him after that. It was just like, bitch. Stop it, bitch. So, Creek is the villain, I will say that. That's all I'm going to say about it. You can see why he's the villain when you watch it.
I mean, yeah, but it's like movie game made for 5-year-olds, so I didn't really take it that seriously.
Okay. Okay, since we're not going to talk about too much of the plot. Okay, let's do our final thoughts.
What'd you think about the music?
I liked the music.
Even though it had no fucking reason to be there, I think.
Yeah, it had no reason to be there, but it was
Like,
it was decent.
the thing about it is, well, the advertisement made it feel like...
It was going to be better.
No, it was going to be a lot worse.
You made it feel like it was going to be a lot worse?
because this is what they did in the trailer. Okay, so they had the nay-nay for the teaser. They were dancing to the nay-nay. And then in the actual trailers, they didn't show much of what was going to be the plot because it's a simple plot.
Yeah.
It's a simple as hell plot. You can describe the plot in like 30 seconds. But... And how are you gonna fit 30 seconds to an hour-long half movie? Spoiler alert, they like kind of dragged it out. Okay. But the thing about it is, like, it wasn't so... They weren't really advertising the movie as a movie. They were
advertising it as like something else.
No, they were advertising... I'll tell you what they did. Okay, sorry, because I remember this shit. So
Okay.
they advertised it. They didn't advertise it as a movie so much, like as its own thing. They literally did the shit where, like, you know, they, like, because they literally did the Shrek thing, or, like, any, like, movies that have, like, a big celebrity cast. They were advertising the cast more than anything that the movie was actually about. They were advertising it like you would advertise
A Coke commercial.
Yes, they were advertising it like that. Like, hey, come see this movie, and like they would like show like who was in it and like, you know, the characters on the side. It was like one of the probably one of the worst trailers that I've ever seen to a animated film. But like,
what made you go watch it? Was the thing?
But it was like one of the worst things because they would show like, you know, I really don't care who voice acts the characters, but they were like, Okay, Anna Kendrick, Justin Timberlake, James Corden, and they would show the characters they would play, and like, oh my god, that would just. They didn't care about the plot to that movie at all, or anything they didn't want to show up,
They didn't want to show what
they just showed off the animation and the cast. That's pretty much
it.
They pretty much showed that off. And it's like, oh my god, are you going to be about anything? I just hear a bunch of pop music, and I see this animation, and I see the cast, and I'm like, are you going to be about anything at all? Or are you just going to be like a celebrity endorsement for like these singers? What is this going to be about? And I just don't like that thing about like just movie trailers in general, especially if it's I guess more type of the fun movies and stuff like that. Or no, actually no, it's just animated films in general where they're gonna be make a big fucking deal about who's gonna be voice acting. Because if you just make a big deal about what celebrity you voice act, that means because a celebrity doesn't really need to put that much effort into animated films. Because they already get they're already working stuff in live action. Why would they really give a shit about why would they give a shit about something that's going to pay them in scale than something that's going to pay them more if it was live action?
Yeah.
So why would they care about what performance they get in? So whenever I see the fact that they that an anime movie wants to advertise it's main celebrity cast more than it does want to advertise the actual movie itself, I get really fucking nervous for that because
you never know if they're gonna make it good or not.
Yeah, but the thing about it is what saved this movie, I think, was the fact that it was so sappy and the fact that it was so weird, and I did not expect that weirdness going in there because they didn't advertise it at all. I think that's why it worked for me. That's what saved this movie for me because it was so weird, so sappy, so made for kids that
you were like, fuck it, I'm gonna go watch it.
Well, I just went along with the ride. Because I did not expect much from this movie at all when I first got in there. And I was like, you know what? That was an actual surprise. And even though it wasn't my favorite movie of that year, far from it, I enjoyed the fun. And I liked it a lot more than I should have. So, what would you give the rating of this movie from everything?
Okay.
What have you experienced?
Based on the movie, if I had to pick a rating, I would actually give it probably a 5.5.
5.5.
It's in the middle.
I like the fact that you like Beastars more, but I like this more than Beastars.
Here's the thing, and here's the reason I'm giving it a 5.5.
Uh-huh.
The animation and stuff is good, the singing is good, it's just the plot was way too basic. That's the only reason this is getting a 5.5, was because the plot was way too basic.
Yeah, this isn't I guess the biggest one that I can say that actually did this was this isn't the first Happy Feet where that movie is almost
it's really good, but then the second one was sucked.
Well, yeah, that too. But the thing is, I guess I look at Happy Feet because it was one of the first ones that did it, and it's probably the Children Upstairs.
You're gonna hear
it's
Children
probably
Upstairs.
The best one that has ever came out that was a jukebox musical, even though not many have come out. I can only think of the Trolls movies, the Happy Feet movies, the Book of Life, and
was Book of Life actually that? I didn't know that.
No, it was part jukebox musical, even though it didn't really do that much. But
and Strange Magic.
Oh my god, the worst of them.
Okay,
but it's not like Happy Feet where they fit a bunch of plot into the 2-hour mark and stuff like that. This is nothing like that. This is clearly made for children, but made for children, and also since I'm a kid and I'm a kid somewhat at heart. And I feel I got a lot more entertainment than I thought that I would have, otherwise than that.
Yay. Well, so what do you give the rating? I give it a 5.5 just because of the plot. Everything else is fine. If we had to take off the plot, I would give it a 6.5. I would give it a 6.5.
Well,
Probably
you know
a 7.
what? I'm glad you just said 6.5 because that's exactly what I would give it.
You would give it a 6.5.
Yeah.
What are some things you feel like they could improve on it, I guess?
Everything that they improved on is in the sequel.
Okay. And now we're going to talk about the second movie. Boy, I will say this with 100% satisfaction. This second movie is better than the first. This movie was better than the first one. By like a mile.
Keep clapping your hands like that. Maybe you're good to go.
Dude, Trolls World Tour is so much better than the first movie. Like, most of the time, the first movie is good and the second one sucks. Like, the sequel sucks. This sequel was better than the first movie. And that's hard to do.
Well,
like, I love the second movie.
Well, the first movie didn't have
a plot. This one has a decent plot.
Much of a plot.
This one has a better plot, like by like a mile. Like, you talk about this first.
Well, here's the thing: when you're comparing and contrasting this movie and second movie, it's not that gonna be that difficult to follow up on a Trolls sequel. In fact, it's like, okay, why were they singing pop songs in the first movie when they had no reason to? Oh. Second movie introduction, even though we never got introduced to any of this in the first movie because I think they weren't expecting to make a sequel at all.
I don't think.
And then Trolls made a lot of money, and it's like, fuck it,
let's make a sequel. Let's make a sequel.
Let's make a sequel because that came out. When did Trolls one came out? I think
like 2012. I think maybe
2016.
Really? Mm-hmm. It came out 2016.
Yep, 2016. You probably didn't see it because you didn't want to, and I didn't blame you. But.
Trolls World Tour is so good. I will back that up.
Well, the thing is, they were like, okay, why did these trolls sing? I'm like, oh, because they have some magical string bullshit that makes them like, it's like the elements of songs.
It's like the elements of harmony in like My Little Pony. Kind of ish. It's similar.
It's the elements of music in string form, and each troll represents different genres. Different genres of music.
Like, you have pop, you have country, you have funk, you have rock,
I think you said
classical, and
DJ,
you had
EDM.
You had like EDM, EDM, electrical dance music. And then you had like a couple like little ones on the side. Like, they had K-pop, they had reggae, and they had like jazz,
yodeling,
and like yodeling.
I never saw their strings.
I think they were okay. So like, this is the thing with that. I feel like the jazz was kind of with the funk, but it's like a subgenre, so they kind of really don't do much with it.
That would be funny.
Like, the yodeling was probably had to do with the country because it's kind of like a country thing.
Yeah. So
that's probably like a side thing with it.
But
classical kind of had like nothing really to it. But, like, reggae and, like, K-pop, the K-pop was probably with the pop trolls. They just didn't really, like, interact with them. And then, like, the reggae was probably, like, also with funk. I feel like there's a couple that were with funk and a couple that were with different things.
Well, yeah.
So, basically, the categories are pop, classical, funk, country, EDM, and that's it, really. They had like 4 or 5 basic genres, and then...
I feel like you're missing a string.
Are you sure? Wait, what's the other string?
Okay, so we got...
pop, country...
Wait, you're messing me up.
Sorry.
Pop, country, classical, rock,
yeah, I missed
EDM.
rock. I missed rock that time.
Okay, well, okay, how many strings? There could have been like 20 strings
There's
in the world.
like 6 strings. It was like 6 strings. It was
I'm
like a harp. Basically, there was a harp.
So pretty much, Queen Barb wants to find, you know, she wants to find the Chaos Emeralds.
She wants to find all the strings.
She wants to find the Chaos Emeralds so she can be like, that she can Thanos everybody out of existence.
Okay, honey, that is not how it goes, and you know it.
But Mari, they're the same. They're just the same thing.
It's not.
Mari, you look at that. They're all different colors, and it's like
they were like all like pastel colors.
She wants to put them in a certain device, and then when you play it, the whole world
Turns into rock.
Turned into
Rock zombies.
Yes, it turns into rock, and like everything
Queen Barb-
disappears, and therefore that's why I believe that this is Thanos. In troll
hands.
in troll form.
Anyway,
She wants to Thanos everyone into rock.
Okay, Queen Barb is
By the
basically.
way, Mari has not seen Avengers Endgame, and that's what I'm going to show them later on.
Anyway, okay, back to Trolls World Tour. So, Queen Barb is basically the queen of the rock trolls.
And it's totally gay.
I could see that. I could see her as being bi or gay. Like, okay, anyway, besides that, look, she's basically trying to cause a bunch of trouble. She ends up going and taking all the strings from everybody.
If I had to say something about Queen Barb,
she's fucking hot as shit.
no, well, yeah, but the thing about, if I had to say something,
What?
her animation, whoever did her animation, whoever was the animation team behind her, oh my god, that is like,
Best thing ever.
yeah, it's like one of those things, it's like one of those characters that every time you look at them move and every time you look at their facial expressions and stuff like that, it's just pure gold. Like, it's just like, I could talk about that. I could talk about her, like, you know, I could talk about like her and how her personality leans towards, like, you know, the animation that was put on, like, you know, given to her and stuff like that. I could talk about that forever and how like perfect that is. But anyway, go on.
But yeah, like, the animation was honestly a whole lot better in this one compared to the first Trolls movie. They actually have a better plot, which I loved. I liked how they differentiate everybody in this. And also, Poppy is a queen in this one. She's no longer a princess. She's a motherfucking queen.
Yeah.
She's a fucking queen, bitch.
She's a queen. And a very terrible queen at that.
Sadly, yes.
Yeah, she is a terrible queen because she doesn't listen to everybody and she thinks that everybody can be cured by hugs and snuggles. Which is why this is still a movie made for 5-year-olds, but you know.
Yeah,
but it's a
better.
lot smarter than that because
This one's a lot better, though.
Because now it wants to teach the kids about cultural diversity.
Yes, because all the trolls look different in this. Like, there's way more trolls. Like, the country trolls looked like horses. They look like centaurs.
Yeah.
And, like
the character
all
design.
of the funk trolls looked like alpacas.
Well, the character design was, like, so much more better. Because...
Yeah, it was a whole lot better than the first Trolls movie. Like, this one actually made them look all different.
Yeah.
And I actually liked it for that. Like, that was nice. Like, the character designs were great. Voice acting was a whole lot better. Mm-hmm. A lot of the stuff that they didn't do good in the first Trolls movie, they really did in the second movie. They really improved on a lot of everything. So it's like...
And, like, I guess the best... They didn't lose that sappiness. That, like, you know... that I liked from the first one. Like, the sappiness and the silliness and the stupidity of it is still there.
Yeah.
Like, and I like that the fact that it's like, you know, I guess it was much less than it was in the first movie, but it was still, like, you know, entertaining, so much entertainment, because this is what I would, like, you know, this is why this broke records and made like $100 million on VOD, because kids love this type of shit.
Yeah.
Kids love this, like, really liked this movie. And I think the fact that, like, you know, like,
the fact that, like,
kids are listening to different genres of music now because there's so many options now than, like, probably when we were little.
Yeah.
All we ever listened to was, like, I guess classical music or the kiddie bands that, like, you know, that were around at the time.
Yeah.
Now it's like, you know, you can listen to rock. You know, some kids are listening to hip hop now, and like all this like genres of music, and it makes like a message about, like, you can't just steal a, like, you know, you can't just suddenly, like, you know, turn this genre of music that, like, you know, I guess, like, you know, like, every genre of music is different, and it should be celebrated as something different, and not have to follow, like, you know,
one
the same
thing.
thing. It wouldn't have to follow the same thing. If it did follow that same exact thing, it would be like, you know, that genre of music wouldn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Which is really a like, you know, a kind of mixed message, because everything now is trying to be like right now, like the music right now is very much inspired by like a trap beat now, or it's like pop is just like, you know, trying to like, it's either pop or hip hop right now. It's mostly hip hop actually that's taking over, and it's like these low beats and all that stuff like that, low electronic beats now.
Also, can we like also appreciate the fact that Queen Barb actually makes a really good point about friendship? Please, can we talk about this?
Yeah.
Like, she made the most realist point about fucking friendship. And I know a lot of people that still like that. Everyone, like, that I know when they saw this movie said, this is, like, the best fucking thing ever that she said. Like, Poppy wanted to be best friends with, like, Queen Barb. And Queen Barb's like, best friends? Like, it takes years of, like, constant communication and, like, trying to understand each other before you can just be best friends. And it's like, that was the fucking realest thing about the whole thing.
Well, the thing is, I'm pretty sure that, like, you know, everybody found Queen Poppy to be popular because she hanged around with pop trolls. And when you hang around with pop trolls, I'm pretty sure the only thing that you really need to impress for them to be your friend is just to be nice to them.
Yeah.
So she thinks like, oh, as long as I be nice to everybody, like, you know, they all love and accept me and stuff like that. And it's like,
and that's
it's
really
not how the world
case.
works. It's not how the world works, Poppy. And like, you know, she does a lot more, I don't know, it's a lot of like, you know, different like, you know, little messages in here that I really do appreciate and really do like. And like, you know, they go on this like journey to different lands and stuff like that is like visually appealing. And it's all very, very cute. It's all very cute. It's all very stylized. It's all very pretty. And I appreciate the sequel more
than the first movie, because the first movie didn't really do much.
Well, it had a point.
Yeah.
This had a point of existing more than the first movie did.
This should have been the first movie, and then the one should be the second.
No, because then it'd be like if this was the first movie and the first movie was the second movie, then I would be like, probably I wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't continue watching it. If they made more Trolls movies that were like, you know, this absurd and this weird and stuff like that, like, I would probably continue watching them, because they're just, I guess, they're just that weird and that exciting to me. Like, I don't know, they're weird and they're fun, which I don't get from movies that often.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think, like, you know, for what this movie, like, you know, sprouted from, I think that this is, like, so much more better, especially now that they have, why they introduce, like, you know, why they have a reason for why these trolls sing now. They have a reason for why they have to put so much pop in there. So, like why they have to put so much genres of music now. And I think, like, you know, I like the fact that they like made this movie so much more better now, and like, you know, they made it better for, like, you know, the adults watching and for the kids especially watching it.
Yeah.
So, and also, like, you know, I'm not gonna lie, that soundtrack. The
soundtrack for the second movie is honestly a lot better.
Yeah.
Is there more original songs in the soundtrack?
Oh yeah, there is. There's a lot more songs. I don't know if it was like written by the actual, because I know there's several, like, you know, songs that are like, you know, from Ozzy Osbourne. I know that there's like several songs that are like, you know, the typical pop songs and stuff like that. And I don't know if the other ones are like original songs or they, like, you know, they made them for the movie, or these, like, you know, artists made them for the movie and stuff like that. But God, that, like, the one song that I keep on listening to is like I forget what it's called. Let me try.
Is it Rocket Like a Hurricane?
Well, no, it's the one where like the funk trolls are, like, you know, singing, like, you know, the funk trolls sing that song about cultural diversity, and it's like, that's my favorite fucking song. That's my favorite song.
I like all the songs that Queen Barb
I'm just
did.
a sucker for like rap songs that like tell like a story or like are explaining like things to a character and stuff like that, and they do it in the most like, to me that's just a very clever way of just sprouting exposition. Like, oh, let's just make a rap song version of it. Like, I don't know, maybe because I just like, you know, I love songs like that. That's why I like, you know, fell in love with like Hamilton and stuff like that. So
Yeah. So those are your favorite songs, and I liked a lot of Queen Barb songs and the whole thing.
well, yeah,
Those are my favorite.
because Ozzy Osbourne was her father.
Yeah, like fucking Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so let's talk about our favorite characters, then we'll give it a final thoughts, and then a rating, and then we're good.
All right.
So,
I still like.
who is your favorite character and your favorite character designs in this?
All
Because
of
we
them
have a
are
lot
really
more
good.
characters now.
All of them have really good character designs. My favorite character, probably Queen Barb.
Yeah.
That's probably mine.
Okay, for me, like, character design wise, I feel like there's a lot of really good character designs. Delta Dawn has a pretty good design. That was the country, the one that played by Kelly Clarkson. If I had to pick my favorite character designs, it has to be King Trollex is like is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And also Queen Essence and King Quincy, both their designs are just fucking beautiful. I love their designs like so much.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to pick my favorite character, it's also got to be Queen Barb. I love Queen Barb.
Yeah, I like him too.
But character design wise, my favorites have to be King Trollex and Queen Essence and King Quincy.
Yeah.
They're probably my favorite character designs in general.
Mm-hmm.
And they were also really fun to draw. I actually, for those who don't know, I actually drew a couple different trolls from Trolls World Tour on my TikTok. So if you want to go check those out, you can check them out in like the description, where we'll have our links to our social medias and stuff.
Yeah.
I did a lot of fan art for Trolls World Tour. I don't think you really did much of it.
I didn't do any of that.
But JC does a lot of original art on their stuff, so go check out
Yes,
their artwork.
plug in our artwork right now while we're in the middle of our
I'm just saying, okay?
Trolls
okay.
review. Okay. So
Anyway.
what did you think about the movie overall? Like,
Overall, this one was a way better movie than the first movie. Like, this one, I loved it. Like,
Yeah.
the plot was a whole lot better. I loved the music. The characters were a lot better.
the animation was fucking fantastic.
Yes.
And I feel so bad because of the fact that like DreamWorks now like has a hit on their hands, but like
But they don't know if they can keep it up at this point.
well, DreamWorks has been struggling a lot with like financial, like with their movies, and now like I feel like now that they're aiming more for like this, like, you know, the more family friendly audience, because this is more, I will say this is more of a family movie than the first Trolls was. So
Yeah.
you could watch this with the family and stuff like that, and now like it's on like, you know, now you can watch it at home pretty much.
Because of, like, the quarantine and stuff, like...
Yeah,
We watch this one at home, because most movies at this point during what's going on right now, I'm not going to say what it is, I'm just going to say quarantine. Is that okay for me to say?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because of, like, the quarantine, a lot of the movies are just being put onto, like, streaming services as soon as, like...
I'm still mixed about that, but like I'm glad that this movie found an audience and that it was quote unquote a hit. And probably DreamWorks and like other studios are probably going to just release their movies on VOD. But
I also found out another movie that we're going to talk about at the end of this is coming out that I think we should review, but we'll talk about at the end.
okay.
But, okay.
So what
Overall-
did you think of overall both of these movies? Like, you know,
Both the movies were good. I will say that. Both the movies are really good. I still think the second one's a whole lot better than the first one.
yeah.
So, overall, I liked how they did the second one a whole lot better.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, what would you rate it, the second movie? You kind of gave it a 6.5
What did you give this
for the first movie.
What for yours rating?
Mine, for the first movie, plot-wise, if I included the plot, it was going to be a 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
But if I didn't include the plot as, like, something to affect the rating, it would probably be, like, a 6.5, around a 7. So what would you... That was for, like, the first Trolls movie. What would you give the second one?
Well, what would you give the second one?
The second one, I would honestly give it, like, an 8 out of 10. I would give it an 8 out of 10. I feel like it was really good. The only thing I wish they could have done was like
For what it is, I would give it an 8 out of 10.
You give it an 8 out of 10
But
too?
if I was judging it based on my own merits, like if I was judging it based on not just, if I was judging it on for me and not for the audience it's targeted for the audience it's targeted for, this is definitely an 8 out of 10. This is a really, really great kids movie. I think it's a very, very great kids movie. I think it's a very like great, like, you know, if you have like I pretty much think that this is going to be played like, you know, in people like, you know, kids who have music class and stuff like that. This is definitely going to be played, and I think it's a great movie for that.
Yeah.
As for me, like, judging it on its own merits, like, if I wasn't judging it, like, if I was judging it based on like a kid's level, probably an 8 out of 10. If I was judging it based on my own level, probably 7.5.
You give it a 7.5?
Yeah. In terms of like the whole genre, like this whole, like the whole two movies in general, like I would probably rate it around I'd probably rate it around 7.
Yeah.
But it's like in the very low tier of 7. So
it'd be like around 6.57. Kind of like that.
We're making like this so difficult more than it should.
I'm not trying to be.
But yeah, it's not the greatest pieces of high art, but it's like so much.
It's a lot better than the first movie.
But they're fun. They're fun movies, and I don't get that much from like studios nowadays. Everybody wants to be
like the Spider-Verse. Everyone wants to be Spider-Verse.
I don't think everybody wants to be Spider-Verse, because Spider-Verse didn't really make that much money.
It's just disappointing because it's a really good movie. Go see it.
But yeah, I fully recommend these movies to kids. And if you guys want to see it, if you have any adults, teenagers, or like, you know, don't mind the sappy stuff and stuff, I get that it's not made for everyone. This is not made for everyone.
Yeah,
I wouldn't show this to everybody. It's not a movie that I would say, hey, everybody in the world, go see it. But I would just be like,
I would recommend this if
you
you like sappy movies, and if you like
colorful shit,
then you're gonna like this.
If you like the Care Bears, if you like all of those properties that were made to sell toys,
then you're gonna like this.
Yeah,
movie.
you will like this.
Okay, so last thing I want to talk about. There's another really good movie that I really want to see when it comes out, and depending on how long quarantine's going to be, we may end up seeing it at home.
Okay.
I want to see Scoob.
I know.
I want to see Scoob.
So, but
we're definitely doing a review on Scoob.
Well, the thing is, like, how long have you been a Scooby-Doo fan?
I've seen, we can talk about that after the podcast.
Well, yeah, but I want to know,
But I've been a Scooby-Doo fan for years. I've seen Scooby-Doo since I was like a kid. So I've seen a lot of the Scooby-Doo movies and stuff like that. So, and I've seen a lot of the live action ones too. Yeah. So seeing an actual animated Scooby-Doo movie like this, I'm actually really excited for.
Yeah.
I hope it's good, because I'm going to be disappointed if this is not good, because there's been a lot of Scooby-Doo movies that flopped and were cash grabs.
Yeah.
So I really hope this is good. Anyway, we'll talk about that a different day. Thank you guys for listening to our podcast. We are really happy we actually made this one. It's probably one of our favorite ones we've done so far. So, I'm Mari.
I'm JC.
And we are out.